And welcome to this edition of Bury Your Bookie. I'm Jeff DeForest. Very happy to have you guys with us because we love a couple of things about the NBA and degenerate gambling altogether. And that is conspiracy theories and also prophecy. That's what it's all about. Now, if you were with us on Friday's edition of the program, Professor Report, a sensational segment, and his number 5 on the list of the weird stories of the week. The negative stories of the week would be, and he had a great graphic, a picture of Jason Tatum, which I believe was taken during the series against the Heat last year. And Jason Tatum, his implication was faking an ankle injury so that he would have an excuse to lose the series, which they did go on and win. But just in case they needed to make excuses, he had one readily made. And then, of course, what happens? It turns out to be pure prophecy. What happens last night against the Knicks? In his case, I don't want to speculate for a second that he was faking. It appeared like he snapped his Achilles in half, like he was Aaron Rodgers, like he was our man Danny Marino many years ago, where you're looking and going, I'm not a doctor, but that's an Achilles injury. So it could be a devastating blow to the Celtics, not just in this series, but even for the next year, because they're going to be salary cap strapped, and this guy might. I've already got him out for the season. Let me bring in an expert on the Celtics, by the way, Mr. Boston himself, who is hailing here from South Florida, and far and away the best-looking guy that we have on any of our shows. And that would be Scotty M, who joins us again this week. And there were so many things going on, Scotty. I got into the Jason Tatum thing because it was brought out as pure prophecy by the professor on our show on Friday that this would be a likely circumstance, as far-fetched as it seemed. As Jim Lampley would say, it happened. It happened. And you could see Michael Moore going down from the one shot that George Foreman landed in that fight many years ago. And then a conspiracy theory involved the NBA draft lottery, which we were not expecting. Somehow Patrick Ewing to be lurking in the background there. What do you make of that? Because that has many layers to it. I don't know what you're hearing about that or what your theory is, Scotty M. First of all, how are you? And welcome to the show. And second of all, do you buy it? I mean, Nico Harrison is off the hook, it appears.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. 1.8% chance to win the lottery, and they find a way to win it. Kind of crazy. Kind of like a big payback for all that went down, like you said, with the trade, the surprising trade of Luka Doncic to the Lakers. And now all of a sudden they get this talent from Duke and Cooper Flag. This guy, he could be the real deal. This guy could probably go right in and fill some spots for Dallas. You got Anthony Davis, Kyrie, if they come back from, obviously they're always banged up and getting older. But if they keep the pieces around this young guy with the talent they have, could be an interesting spot there with Dallas right now. But crazy odds. I mean, before it, to think that they would get the number 1 pick, Philadelphia gets the 2nd pick. San Antonio gets 2nd pick, Philly gets the 3rd pick, and Charlotte gets the 4th pick. So, those teams have been fluttering. Charlotte hasn't been a good product in a long time. Philly has been a decent product, but the last few years, obviously with the injuries to Embiid and all that other stuff. But yeah, crazy day, and unfortunately for Tatum, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. I don't think it would have mattered in that game. It just seemed like the Knicks were taking control of it towards the end and starting to pull away from the Celtics. Celtics backs are absolutely, positively up against the wall. I thought it was going to be smooth sailing. It shows you how an injury here or there or something goes wrong or a team doesn't shoot right. The Celtics were awful in the first 2 games at home with the threes. They couldn't make them to save their lives and fall behind 0-2 going to New York. Last night, pivotal game. They lose it, down 3-1. I just don't see them coming back and winning 3 straight against the Knicks. Just not going to happen.
Wouldn't appear like a possibility, especially if Tatum doesn't play, and we'll learn more about the severity of it.
They play well without him, though. They've had a good season.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, if you look at the numbers. I mean, I know it's hard to carry a team in the playoffs losing their big-time player, but they have done extremely well moving pieces around when Tatum's been out of the lineup this year. I think they got a really high win percentage, over 80%. They've won without him, so they can find ways to win. And the Knicks aren't world beaters. They looked pretty damn good last night, coming back and then controlling that game late. But I just don't think the Celtics can win 3 straight. That's the problem.
Brunson has those moves that you used to display in the park, Scotty M, where he does the triple head fake and the changing of the pivot feet. We know that traveling is never called in the NBA, and then he does that fadeaway, and he's
Yeah.
flopping as he goes backwards, and remarkable accuracy on that little shot from 14, 15 feet. And he nails his share of threes also. Got a little lucky on one at a crucial time as it rimmed around and finally went back in. Tatum, though, a monster game. 42 points last night, 16 of 28 from the field, 7 of 16 from three-point range. All-around game. He has 4 steals in the game, and his extra effort that he was exerting on the defensive end probably was the cause of the injuries. He starts to lunge for a ball and then takes an awkward step, goes to the ground, and the next thing you know, they're carrying him off the court there where he wasn't able to put any weight on it. Brunson, Mr. Clutch, has been every bit of that. 39, 14 of 25, 4 of 8 on three-point shots, and all of the big shots down the stretch there. Just a remarkable run. So interesting because the Knicks were getting 5.5, and they were 2-1 underdogs. And we speculated here, talk about prophecy. I don't know that it took a genius to figure that after winning those first 2 in Boston in a somewhat remarkable fashion, being down 20 in both games at different junctures late in the game, that I thought they had to win 1 of 2 at the Garden. They get crushed like a grape in Game 3,
Yeah.
and you start thinking, well, geez, you know what? Celtics probably the better team. They find a way to win Game 4, and then they're back to having home court advantage in a 2 out of 3. But far from the case now, as they're down 3-1 and facing a little more
Yeah, that,
desperation.
that was a huge game yesterday. You got to be on.
Yeah, we lost Scotty Mac there for a second. There you are. We lost your audio, though, Scotty M. Scott, yeah, we lost the audio portion. You must have hit a mute button or something. Scotty M has been silenced here on the program as he was about to deliver a blistering and interesting theory about this series. What do you think, Scotty? You got the mute button on? You still do, I believe. We're zeroing in on the technical problem here. You see a big hand, and away goes Scotty M. All right, well, get to Scotty M's predictions. We hope here on the program for tonight. Other game, I had the Timberwolves prevailing over Golden State. I'm surprised at the measure of difficulty. Can we hear you, Scotty M? He's punching buttons. He's doing all kinds of crazy things. We may have to go in mime fashion here with Scotty M on the show, but as we try to figure that out, a huge third quarter in both games actually was a differential for the winners. Knicks pounded the Celtics in the third quarter after being down 37-23, getting 5.5 in that game, a very generous allotment of points. And Golden State and the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Timberwolves go 39-17 in the third quarter in that game and end up prevailing 117-110. You would have to think that Minnesota is going to prevail there. And, of course, the other series resumes tonight. Real difficult series to try and depict as you have the Denver Nuggets and Oklahoma City. Denver getting 10.5. They've been kind of up and down. We've seen great spurts of energy in the 2 games that they won, and we've seen them look like absolute shit in the games that they've lost. And then Indy and Cleveland, surprisingly, the Indiana Pacers, in spite of leading Cleveland 3-1, and the uncertainty of the status of one Donovan Mitchell, who's been carrying the load. I mean, this guy has been Herculean in the games against the Indiana Pacers. Pacers getting 7.5 points tonight in their battle against the Cleveland Cavaliers, trying to close it out. All right, I think we have you back, Scotty M.
Defo.
There you are. All right, we did it.
I don't know what
The
happened.
odds were coming in that you weren't going to be able to resume the show. So the under players.
I apologize for that. Little technical difficulties, as they say.
No problem. All right, I want to get your thoughts on the games tonight, and we have one on the slate in hockey. We'll get to that, but 7.5. Does that not seem like a generous allotment in this Pacers game? Go ahead if you had something else on the other games.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how the NBA flipped. They were like the ugly stepchild to the NHL. Because the NHL had such great matchups and was absolutely more parity going on. And all of a sudden, the NBA now with these upsets in these series. Who'd have think Cleveland and Boston before it all started would be down 3-1 with chances to lose. Both of them being knocked out. I took Cleveland and Boston. I thought would get all the way to the finals.
Sure.
They would face each other, but it's kind of crazy. The Pacers are playing really excellent basketball at the right time, and they're a solid club. They're still saying Mitchell is questionable tonight. It's a game time decision. I hate that because they hold it out so late, and then all of a sudden, the line will adjust multiple points, deciding whether he comes or he doesn't play in the game. But 7.5, I like the total. They've been scoring a lot of points. These teams, they seem to move and they're run and gun type of team. So they're still making the total about 229. I think this game's going to be a high scoring game. I really do. I think that they're gonna battle it out. Both teams are gonna come running and gunning. So I don't like the game per se, but I like the total to go over to 229 on the game between Indiana and Cleveland tonight. And it'd be a shame, unfortunately for Cleveland, got hit by the injury bug during this series. They lose a lot of key players, a lot of role players in and out of the lineup. Just can't put the whole team together that was there all season long, so consistent. The wheels fell off the bus a little bit right now in this series. So it's going to be tough sledding for them to win 3 straight games in a row against a team like Indiana. But I like the over in that game tonight.
All right. I kind of like the points in that game, although when I suggested that Indiana was getting a very generous allotment of points in game number 3, they got buried. So, and Mitchell, of course, had that heroic effort there with 48 points. He was equally effective in game 4, but Indiana managed to prevail. I don't know. I don't know
He's
that
a
they close it out tonight.
Yeah, he's a key piece to their puzzle, and he's questionable going into tonight. Like I said, they're holding him out as a game time decision.
What kind of price you get on the money line in that game? Do you have that in front of you by any chance?
Actually, I don't have it in front of me.
7.5 in the NBA, wouldn't that be somewhere around at
I
least
think
5 to 2?
about at least almost 3-1. No,
Yeah.
3-1.
That's what I'm thinking. So, I mean, I might take a little taste on that. If I get buried, I do. But at least I'm doing it with a chance to make a score on a team that couldn't be any more of a live 3-1 underdog in a game where only two teams, 2 possibilities exist. They either win or they lose. Denver getting 10.5. OKC. What do you make of that one, Scotty?
I don't understand. They keep coming back with this 10.5 and these two teams, and it's just like Denver hangs around, win, lose, or draw. I mean, yeah, they got blown out by 40 something. I knew that second game they were going to come back and destroy them. That was kind of obvious. OKC losing that first one, not going to drop 2 straight at home. Obviously, the way they played all year and the team they have. This game tonight, like I said, the other day was a sloppy game, 92-87. I mean, OKC hung around Denver. They kind of hung around and made the game tight. Kept that game within the 5.5 range at OKC. But this is the type of game I think that if OKC is the real deal, they're going to come out and try to put the smackdown on them and really beat them up again today. So I wouldn't be shocked if this game wasn't a blowout. A good 17 to 22 point game for OKC because Denver's been hanging around. It seems like they're wearing down a little bit. Some of the players seem like, even the big man, the Joker, he's been doing his thing, but he seems like he's wearing down a little bit. Maybe this type of environment and this situation with the young legs of OKC, that they're going to just come out and try to just run them out and do kind of a similar situation like they did in game 2. So the 10.5, I don't think is going to really matter in a game like this. I would adjust it just to be safe down to 9. I'd buy a 1.5, lay the 140 on the game. I think 9 is a proper number for me to jump on a game like this. So I'm going to take OKC minus the 9, and I think they win this game by double that. They'll win by 7. If they're right, they're going to win by 17 to 22. And I just can't see Denver winning this series. I really can't. I mean, it'd be shocking to see OKC go down, the Celtics go down, Cleveland go down, and you have teams like the Knicks and the Pacers battling to get to the finals against, maybe Denver and Minnesota. It wouldn't be such an exciting. Well, with the Knicks, I guess it would bring some excitement because of the New York Buzz. But outside of that, there wouldn't be an exciting finals if you think about it with teams like that, representing it to win the championship.
Indiana, Minnesota. I think you would see Adam Silver at the apex of the Brooklyn Bridge, looking to make a swan dive there, as if he was Greg Louganis on the Acapulco Cliffs. All right, Z Hockey, always shoot the puck, shoot the puck. We had a game in a series. I had an interview with Doug McClain, former coach of the Florida Panthers, and of course he was a GM and coach part of the time with the Columbus Blue Jackets from their inception. Carolina, Washington. He said nobody cares about that series. He wasn't even going to watch it. Carolina's up 3-1 there. Ovechkin was a great story during the year, surpassing Gretzky. The Capitals really weren't accorded that big of a shot in spite of their excellent regular season. Carolina always tough, and they appear to be in a commanding position. And then Edmonton, who were down 2-0 to the LA Kings in the early portion of series number one, came back, swept the next four games, then beat Las Vegas a couple of times in a row before losing game three.
Yeah.
You thought, and I believe, is it Skinner? Their backup goalie's been in there, and this guy has been horrendous. And all of a sudden, he pitches a shutout. He looks like Gump Worsley, a second coming of Dominic Hasek. He's great, and Edmonton wins 3-0. Are they primed maybe to make a run back? The old run it back thing, where is it
Yeah,
not possible we see a repeat at this stage of the Stanley Cup Finals of a year ago?
yeah, no, they are. They got two. Well, both their goalies actually, Skinner and Paddock, I believe it is the other, the backup goalie. He's been playing fantastic. They're playing hot right now. I mean, they're getting hot at the right time with good goaltending at the right time. And you know how goaltending carries teams through the playoffs. So they're getting hot. They have the experience. They were there last year. They were one game away from winning it all. They lost in seven to the Panthers. Experience got to help at this time of the season for sure. And last night, I mean, they shut them out. They jumped right out early in that game, never turned back. And in that series, Vegas is they were like one of the darlings, maybe to get to the finals this year. But I don't know. They seems like too much firepower right now for Edmonton, and they're playing right. Just extremely well right now. I happened to be the other night. I went to Game 4.
Oh yeah.
Panthers against Toronto. That was unbelievable. That game. They just the vibe, the whole crowd. It was just a crazy scene out there at Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise the other night. So the Panthers, went down 0-2. Looked like they were going to get swept the way it was going after the first two games. Come home, I guess get themselves back in their environment. Tie this series up. Momentum swings now to Florida. Game 5 is going to be crucial, obviously, in that series because if the Panthers go up 3-2, they probably end it in the sixth game. I don't see it going 7. The Panthers go up 3-2. I think they come home and get the job done. So, yeah, it could be a mirror image. I mean, but that Carolina team, like you say, quiet, surprisingly very tough team. And they're going to give the Panthers, whoever it is, whether it's Toronto or the Panthers, they're going to give them fits because this Carolina team is the real deal. Very good goaltending, very solid team, all around, and they're making Washington look, bad right now. Obviously, in that series, they're up 3-1. That series is going to be probably all over very shortly. So Carolina will either play Florida or Toronto to get to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, we'll see. And what's your thought on that game tomorrow? As you mentioned, Panthers momentum on their side after that 2-0 thriller that you were in attendance at. And yet, if you look at the series, I saw many guys that claim to have in-depth hockey knowledge. They watch a lot of hockey. I know they often comment on it, but and they were writing off the Panthers after the two games, just saying Toronto's a better team. I don't know that you could make that case right now. Old man Mo on the side of the Panthers. But if you look at it, I mean, the first two games decided by a goal. The third game went into overtime, decided obviously by one there, and then it's 1-0 late in game 4. And Bobrovsky came up with some sensational saves to match Wall, who the backup goalie for the Maple Leafs, who he's been looking great ever since that second period where he came in and he gave up a couple of early goals after the third period got underway when he came in for the starter, Stolars. But, he's acquitted himself very well. So that's a good one. Any call in a game tonight, Scotty M? You have Dallas and Winnipeg. Dallas up 2-1 there at home.
Yeah, that's a tough one because you got two great goaltenders. Connor Hellbrook for Winnipeg. Is probably he's probably the best, if not second best goalie in all of the NHL. And this Jake Ottinger for Dallas has been playing extremely well. Dallas has been quietly getting the job done. They weren't recognized like some of these other teams, on the western side of the conference, obviously in the NHL, but playing really well right now. and momentum is in their corner, obviously. And Winnipeg, I don't know, they're not playing. It could be that skeleton of the most points. The Vezina Trophy, whatever they call it, trophy.
President's Trophy, yeah.
Right, most points during the regular season. It's always they get the jinx
Yeah.
coming to the playoffs. But this crowd tonight, let me tell you, that crowd in Dallas, man, the decimal points are up over here. I mean, they just get way up there. That's going to be an unbelievable vibe tonight. It's going to be tough to beat Dallas in their building tonight. And if they do win this game, they'll be up 3-1. I can't see the other side winning 3 straight the way they've been playing. So I think momentum is absolutely in Dallas's corner in this series at this point because they're favored in this game tonight. It's a tough place to win in. That crowd, like I said, is just going to amp them up big time. Momentum is going to be in their corner. So I can't see anything other than Dallas winning this game tonight. The line indicates it to me as well. 145 favorite over Winnipeg. So earlier it was like 120, 125, 130. Now it's moving a little higher. So they probably anticipate the same thing I do. The momentum is in the corner of Dallas at this point. And I like that goaltender, Ottinger. He can play when he's on. He's very difficult. And I like Dallas in this game tonight. I don't like laying 145, 150, but I think it's worth it in a spot like this.
All right. The white smoke is blowing in Rome. Did you have a wager on, and did you cash on the new Pope?
Yeah, how do you like that, huh?
Leo 14th, yeah.
First time ever, an American Pope. Unbelievable. Out of Chicago.
That'd be a long shot. No, I think it had to be 10-1 or more. No?
Oh, no. Way up there.
Way beyond that. Oh, wow.
Way beyond 10-1, the default. Like a couple,
100-1?
maybe multiple zeros after the 10-1. I was hearing like 3,300 to 1 or something.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. So this was a bomb that came in.
Well, don't forget, never an American has never been a pope ever before. So that's the first time in history. So the odds had been off the charts to begin with. With just that factor alone, never before was an American pope. So those odds, God knows, it might have been in the 5-figure range, of odds.
Incredible. Yeah. That was a good one. And the drama would only have been as intense if you had money on it, because they showed that shot of the place where the Pope comes out there on the balcony,
Right.
and you're waiting. Every news organization is there. They're doing hours of coverage and speculation, and then finally the guy shows up, and you go, "Wow, man, 330 to 1 or whatever that was. That was fantastic." All right. Anything else strike your fancy in terms of wagering possibilities today? Any baseball? Anything along those lines? No, we lost your sound again, Scotty M. Maybe an inappropriate time. Yeah, we lost the sound on Scotty M. All right. Can you make a symbol of any baseball team that you like? I mean, is it the Braves? We got you in sign language. All right. Maybe that's an omen that we should get out of here with our winning play so far. I would ask you, I know Instagram is the place to go for Scotty M selections. So we'll let him go, and we'll tout his services next time he's on a show. Conspiracy theories, it was great. 1.8% chance, Dallas Mavericks. Nico Harrison, I thought there was a better chance that the Warren Commission report was right, that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, than that the NBA would rig this for the Dallas Mavericks. But a couple of layers to that, right? Where you had Luka Doncic traded to the Lakers, which now perpetuates the Lakers as a team of distinction and a team that the networks are going to embrace. And somehow Dallas gets the little side deal reward maybe, and they say, well, listen, don't worry about it. You trade this guy. You get back Anthony Davis, who's always injured, and whatever else you can accumulate there. You still have Kyrie if he comes back, and we'll make sure that you get Cooper Flag. Because Nico Harrison wasn't saying much. He eventually came to the admission that he had underestimated the popularity of Luka Doncic. Let me see if we can do this one more time just for fun here with Scotty M. Trying to work him back into the program. It's been hit and miss, which is often the case in this new era of technology. But I don't know. I mean, was this Patrick Ewing all over again? There you are, Scotty. We did want to. I don't know if you had a baseball game, and we wanted to give you a chance to talk about where people can find your services.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some hot teams right now, Defo, in baseball. Like, you got to be looking at some of these teams. St. Louis on a 9-game heater right now. Beat Philadelphia last night. Won 9 straight games in a row. Philly's been strong. They won 7 out of their last 10. But this St. Louis team and Minnesota has been red hot after starting out real slow. They've won their last 8 straight games in a row. But I see 2 games tonight that I'm
Oh, yeah.
liking.
All right.
I'm liking Arizona in baseball against San Francisco. San Francisco's not hitting right now. They lost their last 4 games in a row. They're not finding ways to score runs. Even the one game they did find a way to score runs on Sunday, they scored 6, but the Minnesota came back and beat them 7-6 in extra. So they're not finding ways to win games. I think this matchup tonight. I like this matchup with on the mound tonight with Arizona. They're making them a 110, 115 favorite against San Fran with Robbie Ray, who's 5-0 with a 289, and he's still an underdog. So they're showing me that they don't see the support. If San Francisco is right, a pitcher that's 5-0, the better team, they should be at least a 130 to 135 favorite. So I like Arizona in this spot because I'm a numbers guy. I look for numbers that give me value. I got Arizona in this game minus 110, 115. And I'm going to ride the red hot New York Yankees, man. Can't beat the story going on with Aaron Judge, Defo. Have you ever seen
Unreal.
400 and something batting average, 14 home runs? I mean, the guy is just on pace for something crazy, something ridiculous, to be honest. But the Yankees are just when they get on there, and you got Max Fried on the mound tonight. I mean, this guy's got a 0.91. I mean, when do you hear of that?
That's
ERA
beautiful.
6-0 this year with a 0.91. And I'll take them all day long. Hey, come and beat me, as I would say. But I like the Yankees and I like Arizona. Those are my 2 plays for tonight in baseball.
That's sub Gibson-esque.
Yeah,
The
that's
great Bob Gibson had the 1.12 ERA, although that was in the era of the raised mound, which having gone into the Mets bullpen a couple of times when I was a vendor at Shea Stadium, and before the game we would roll out there and throw a few off the mound. It made all the difference in the world, Scotty.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the pickup. I mean, you pick up a guy that comes from Atlanta. He comes to you for the first time. He brings you 6-0. You lose your best pit, well, your ace basically.
Yeah.
Before they knew him, but Max Fried, which was, a Cole. He's out for the year basically. And you got this guy coming in there. I mean, you hand the ball to him, and all he's doing is bringing you W's. 6-0 with a 0.91. I mean, Brian Wu is a good pitcher for Seattle, but I think the Yankees are too much. They just seem to have it going on when they need to have it going on. And I like them in this spot because they're supporting Max Fried. 6-0. They haven't lost for him yet. One or 2 no decisions, but he's been winning them all the other starts he's come in. So I like the Yankees in this spot, and I like Arizona. Those are the 2 plays I like tonight in baseball.
All right. If you like Scotty M, where can people find and get in touch with you and take advantage of your services?
Yeah, the great thing I'm offering right now is I go live every day on my Instagram channel around 5:30 p.m. Me and my boy TK, we do breakdowns live. So we're on for about 30 minutes from 5:30 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. And also, I started a brand new broadcast channel. It's all on and you can join for free and get additional plays at no charge. So all you got to do, guys, is just come to my Instagram. It's SM Sports Picks, Picks, with the blue check mark verifying it's me. And you could join the broadcast channel. Just click and join. You get extra stuff. Everything is in there every day, updated for nothing. And again, we go live every day at 5:30. If you want to check that out, we put out some extra plays up there as well. Giving a lot of stuff away, Defo. A lot of stuff.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Scotty, thanks. A little technical glitches here and there, but you
Sorry about
milled and powered your way right through it, much like you're hoping your Celtics could do against the New York Knicks. Thanks as always, my friend. Always great having you on the show.
Have
The
a good
great,
day. Oh.
the great Scotty M, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we have to run. Thanks so much. Good luck with your plays tonight. I'm probably going to look like a complete fool, but I'm thinking that 7.5 looks pretty generous against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Indiana Pacers up 3-1 in a series. Naturally, there's a dose of desperation there with the Cavs. Maybe that motivates them. Not sure about Donovan Mitchell. If he's not available, game time decision. If he doesn't play, then certainly that odds line is going to change. So you might want to get on that early if you believe that I'm right about this. And then Denver getting 10.5 against OKC. Everything says blowout OKC. I don't know. I mean, Denver looked like they weren't even interested in the first quarter of that game last time out. They scored 8 stinking points. Looked like they weren't trying. Golf clubs in the trunk of the car, but Can they hang in there? 10.5, a very generous allotment. Well, we'll see. I don't know what to make of that one. I'm not sure that I'm buying it down to 9. Scotty M says that's his recommendation. Most people would anticipate an OKC blowout. We shall see. We've been fooled by a couple of these trends in the NBA playoffs in the past. And then hopefully you had the Mavericks at a big price. I mean, it was over 50-1, the chances of them chances of them getting the number 1 pick. Holy Elgin Baylor. They defied the Elgin Baylor syndrome and actually prospered and ended up coming from the bottom position. If they don't lose that game to the Memphis Grizzlies in the play-in game, they're not in the lottery, and they don't have a line on Cooper Flagg to possibly salvage whatever dignity the franchise had after delivering Luka Doncic wrapped in gift paper to the LA Lakers to make sure that they preserved a position of prominence on NBA television, and the fact that they need to generate ratings, and LA always is a big spark there. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow on the next edition of Bury Your Bookie.